I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. Bit of housekeeping first. Our website had a problem over the weekend again. This is the second time it's happened in 2 weeks. And Google's a little spider that goes around and looks for stuff that doesn't seem to be quite right, locked onto our website again and put up this big warning sign, It said we had malicious malware and all that. Well, it wasn't anything that would do any damage to your computer, but it did cause us to be, shall we say, down for a couple of days. And of course, that means that people get scared, and not get onto our website. Well, we had it fixed by 9 o'clock Monday morning, but it takes another 24 hours to request Google to go back in and check it out and make sure it meets their specifications, and they lifted their little warning sign. This is a frustration for us. We're working on it to get it fixed permanently. So I just want you to know not to worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. So if you wanted to watch the weekend's broadcast, feel free. Click on Friday and you can watch that. Click on Monday and watch that. And then today's, of course. And we hope you'll stay with us. And don't be scared away by these little warning signs, all right? Because soon we will have it completely fixed, and we'll not have to worry about that ever again. There's some kind of vulnerability with the .asp type software. So anyway, I wanted you to know that. Everything is A-OK at Prophecy in the News website. I want to talk to you about this book for a moment. For the next few days, we're going to be offering a few books that we have an excess number of in our warehouse, so that we can just clear these out of our warehouse, make room for new books that are coming in. If you'll notice, by the way, coming up in September, we have 5 new products. And so you can imagine our warehouse is getting seemingly smaller and smaller and smaller. So we'd like to move this book out if we can. We have a limited number of them. This book on the back says it sells for $29.99, lacking 1 penny, being $30. Well, it's a great book. Mike Evans is the author of this book. And by the way, Mike has pictures here where he meets with several of the heads of state. He is a man who is highly connected. And so you will love to hear what he has to say. I want to read to you just a little bit from one of his chapters. Oh, by the way, I want to make this book available to you for $9.95. That's 2/3 off. Regularly $29.99. You can get it from us today for $9.95. As long as they last. We have a limited number, so get your order in just as quickly as possible. You can call 1-800-475-1111 and order the book Betrayed. And the subtitle is The Secret U.S. State Department's Plan to Relinquish the Temple Mount, which will unlock Pandora's box and unify radical Islam. The conspiracy to divide Jerusalem. If you don't have this book, you really need to get this book. I hope you will. Under chapter 9, Reclaiming the Land, he says, it was on the eve of the United Nations partition. This was back in 1947. November 29th, I think it was. In 1947, Israeli leader David Ben-Gurion sent Golda Meir to meet with King Abdullah of Jordan, then called Transjordan. They would rendezvous at night at an out-of-the-way spot near where the Jordan flows out to the Sea of Galilee. So it's way up north near the Sea of Galilee. Golda was, in many ways, an American. She was born in 1898 in Kiev, the ancient capital of the Ukraine. At the age of 8, she immigrated to America with her family and settled in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She grew up there and worked for a time as a school teacher. But at the age of 17, she had discovered her Zionist faith, and the cause to which she would dedicate the rest of her life. The electricity that served the king's palace in Jordan, up near the Sea of Galilee, and the rest of the city of Amman, Jordan, came from a hydroelectric station built and run by the Jews along a stretch of the east bank of the Jordan just inside the Galilee. So there is an electric plant down at the south end of the Sea of Galilee, built there by the Jews and used by the Jordanians. It was here at the home of the plant's director that Golda Meir and King Abdullah held their secret meeting. Remember, this was the night before the UN voted 33-13 to establish the State of Israel. Though it was their meeting, they greeted each other as friends with a common enemy, the Mufti Haj Amin. He was the head Palestinian in Jerusalem. In the event of partition, Abdullah confided, he would prefer to simply annex the Arab sector to his kingdom. Mrs. Meir, Golda's name at the time, thought that sounded much better than a separate state led by the Haj Amin. So, in case you're wondering why no Palestinian state was established back in 1948 when the Israeli state was established, the king of Jordan wouldn't let him. He annexed that territory that the Palestinians wanted for their Palestinian state. And she pledged that the Jews would leave the Arab sector to its own devices, would leave them alone, not bother them, and devote themselves entirely to the establishment of their own sovereignty within the borders assigned to them by the United Nations. Well, it's a fascinating read. That's just one little section of it. 330 pages of power-packed, action-packed stories by Mike Evans. You'll love it. It'll help you to understand a lot of things that people don't understand today. Why, for example, there was no Palestinian state established in 1948. And here we are, in 2009, and the Palestinians still don't have a Palestinian state, and they can't seem to agree enough with Israel to get it. They want it, but they want it over Israel's dead body. You understand? That'll happen over my dead body. Well, that's the way they want it, over Israel's dead body. So anyway, you get this book, will you? The fuse is lit, he says. The missiles are aimed. The terror cells are in place. The world moves closer to the 0 hour. Betrayed, the conspiracy to divide Jerusalem is a prophetic and chilling eyewitness account by a man who has been in meetings with hundreds of world leaders from the Royal Palace of Madrid to the White House. Betrayed is the name of the book. It'll touch your emotions, shake you to the core, and change forever the way you think about peace in the Middle East. This book reveals the secret plan to divide Jerusalem, to relinquish the Temple Mount to the Palestinians forever, and the Christian holy sites and parts of the old city. Now, he says, the vultures gather yet again, sensing that more of the city of David will be laid on the altar of sacrifice. Our State Department has agreed to what is being called the final status plan to divide Jerusalem before the end of 2009. Will it happen? Will it happen? Well, get the book. Read all about it, will you? It's a fascinating read. It's $29.99 in the bookstores. That's the selling price right there marked on the back. And I want you to know you can get it from us today for $9.95, as long as they last. So get your order in right away. That's 1-800-475-1111. Now, I want to talk to you for a minute about a news item here from Damascus, Syria. It says part of a Scud missile jointly developed by North Korea, Syria, and Iran landed in a Syrian market back in May, killing more than 20 people. You see, the missile, one of two developed by these three countries, strayed off course and landed in the marketplace near the border with Turkey in the northern Syrian Kyodo News reporting a Western diplomatic source. Military officials who blocked the area blocked access to the area to recover what was left of the missile told residents there had been a gas explosion.